So the Australian market's been performing really well for New Zealand for the last 6 months. Holiday arrivals been up from January to July, and all indicators are that that will continue for the rest of 2013. One of the standout performers from Australia has been the West Australian market. We've seen really good positive growth from WA for a couple of years now, especially in the holiday arrivals. And with the introduction of Air New Zealand flying Perth to Christchurch from December, we think that that's going to create some real opportunities for New Zealand tourism. And also Qantas have indicated that they're going to begin flying from Perth to Auckland from October this year. So that's going to create some competition. There's going to be more seats to fill, but a lot of our marketing activity is going to be targeted towards the Western Australian market to ensure that that extra capacity is filled on that route. As far as the upcoming activity goes for 2013-14, our campaign activity really kicks off from the middle of September. We're waiting for the Australian election to pass, where we can actually start to get some decent media rates, and we're going to focus from September to December on traditional touring type campaigns, and we're going to partner with North Island Collective of RTOs, Wellington Region, South Island, focused primarily on WA to support that new Perth to Christchurch service. We're going to do some work with Queenstown, and then from December we'll really push hard our 100% Middle Earth campaign, mostly in cinemas as well as television, just to really leverage that Hobbit activity that'll be happening from December in the Australian market. Once we've got through that touring wave of activity, we're going to go into special interest. It's going to be a big focus for us in 2013-14, primarily cycling and the promotion of the New Zealand cycleways. We think it's a great product that's come on stream in New Zealand, and we think that there's a lot of interest in cycling in Australia. It's one of the fastest growing participation sports in the country, and with the development of the cycleways across New Zealand, there's a really good story to tell. So we'll be telling that primarily through editorial channels. We'll be working with media partners. We've already had discussions with people like National Geographic and Fremantle Media as to how we could really tell that story in a longer format to the Australian holiday market. Other things that are going on in the market, we've got Luxperience coming up in September. We also have Wistic in Sydney in September as well, so two big trade shows, one of them for the luxury sector and one of them for the youth sector, where Tourism New Zealand will be setting up a shop and trying to bring as many New Zealand operators along with us to those two trade shows. We'll also be doing some some trade screenings of the Hobbit movie with our key trade partners in the 5 cities. That'll be happening in January 2014. We're going to be doing a lot more work in the cruise market, really to try and improve the value of that market. So our focus will be on pre and post cruise touring. So we're going to work with partners like Carnival Cruise Lines, Cruise About, and try and drive up the percentage of exchange visitors, because at the moment about 85% of Australian cruise visitors to New Zealand are what we call transit passengers. That means that they start their cruise in Australia and terminate in Australia. So we really want to drive up more flying to New Zealand or flying from New Zealand. So with some land product attached to those cruise itineraries, we think that's the best way to deliver value or grow some value from the booming cruise market from Australia to New Zealand. In terms of business events, we're really ramping up our activity there. We've got a above the line campaign where we're going to be promoting New Zealand as a conference destination. That activity starts from September as well, and we're currently recruiting for an extra person, a business events manager role in Australia, and their focus will be working to try and attract associations, conferences to New Zealand. We've signed an MOU with TNZ in Australia, and we'll be doing a lot of work that's complementary with SINS in Australia to try and attract the lucrative and very valuable conference market to New Zealand.